Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the long awaited Garmin Fenix 5S review. The last video that I did on the Garmin was about 6 months ago when I did my unboxing and the small comparison between the Fenix 3 HR and the Fenix 5S. I originally owned the Fenix 3 HR and I did a comparison between that watch and the new watch that I bought, which was the Fenix 5S. Obviously now with it being 6 months on, I feel that it's the appropriate time to give you an overview of how I feel about the watch, the different features of it, and answer some of the questions that you left on the last video for things that you were interested in hearing about. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing. You won't see my face for probably the rest of the video until the end. I'm going to pan to the actual watch so that I'm able to show you some of the features on it. So yeah, we're going to get onto it pretty quick because otherwise this video is going to be really long, so let's get to it. So this is the Fenix 5S. I have the rose gold edition, that's the sapphire edition. They also have another colour, I can't remember which one it is. The Sapphire edition obviously has a sapphire screen, so it's scratch resistant, and also has Wi-Fi uploading capabilities that don't come on the standard 5S models. It's only on the Sapphire edition. I don't know why they chose to do that, but yeah. I have a 16cm wrist, or the equivalent of 6.2 inches, so this is what it looks like on my wrist. It is I wouldn't say tailored for women. It can be for men and women. They come in a variety of different colours, so it's totally dependent on your preference. You may be a male and want just a smaller watch because the 5 and the 5X are quite chunky, so yeah, it's all personal preference as to what size that you want for the watch, so that's that. I'm just going to take it off so it's easier to film the rest of the features, but you can kind of get the general gist of how it looks on my wrist. So here it is, 5S. So this is a 42mm watch. The 5 is 47mm and the 5X is 51mm. So it's totally dependent on preference. The 5X comes with matte features, so if that's something that you're interested in, then have a look at the 5X. But yeah, we're here to talk about the 5S. So the 5S is multi-sport, and it also doubles as a smartwatch and activity monitor, all that kind of stuff. Everything that you could ever want to be in a watch, this comes with. So obviously it comes with as your activity monitor, so you can do all sorts. There is lots of different activity profiles on the watch, so you've got run, bike, brick, bike indoor, pool swims, triathlons, swim runs, strength. I've taken quite a lot off. You can customise it to whatever you want, but there also used to be ski and hiking, walking, basically anything that you could ever want. You can pick a profile for. The buttons are easy to press. They're in a nice rose gold colour, so this is the start and stop button. Then you've got the back and the lap button. You've got the light, which is up here, which turns on the backlight. Obviously, because I've got lights on, you won't be able to see the backlight very much, but it is decent enough for when you're running at night time. And then you've got the up and down and the menu button here. So yeah, they're all standard buttons. The screen isn't touchscreen, so if that's something you're interested in, that kind of rules out the Fenix 5S. You have the watch straps. I had a lot of questions asking about whether the white watch straps get dirty, and no, they don't. I haven't had to really take mine off and give it a scrub, to be honest. I kind of just wear it in the shower and it's absolutely fine. You have the detachable straps for the 5S. So this is these here. You basically just pull the lever and you can take the strap off just as easy as that, and you can replace them whichever colour you want. I haven't really had a need to take it off. I haven't had any problems with the mechanism on it. I don't have the straps coming off at any point. Whilst I'm showing you the back, here is the LED heart rate. I am not really much into heart rate data, so I can't really tell you much on it, but I haven't had any problems with it not picking up heart rate or anything like that, so yeah, it's been pretty good. Obviously it's not going to be as good as a chest strap heart rate, but it does have 24-hour monitoring, so that's a good thing, so you can track that within the watch. If I come down to here, I have had the watch off quite a bit, but as you can see, it gives you your lowest and your highest points throughout a 4-hour period, and it'll tell you up here when you're wearing the watch what your heart rate is at the time. Then I'll go back onto the back for a minute. Here is the charging port, so I have the cable handy to show you. This is one of the flaws of the Fenix 5, which is that when you plug it in, if you are doing ultras or anything like that, you can't wear the watch while it's charging. So if you're doing an ultra and you need to recharge your watch, then you can't really do much about it other than take it off and put it in your bag for the time being. You can use it while it's charging though, so I suppose that's a good thing, and it might not be too much of a deal breaker. The charging point is really secure, so it doesn't really come off. I'm kind of giving that a proper tug and it's not coming off at all. You have to give it a real good budge and obviously almost knock over the tripod at the same time. So yeah, that's the general overview for that. So if I go through, I can show you the different widgets that you can get on the watch. So you can download lots of different widgets that give you lots of different data depending on what you want on your watch. So there was the main screen that I just showed you, which is just your time, and I've also customized it to put the date here and the time, my battery percentage, and the amount of steps that I've done, which is not very much, so please don't pay attention to that. Then you have the heart rate screen, which I showed you before, so that gives you an overview of the last 4 hours, but you can get the last 24 hours on the app. Then we have a training status, so it tells you what status you should be in your training. I have done a run recently, so it's put me in recovery mode, but you can go into these settings and it gives you a bit more. So you've got your VO2 max, which is 40, which says that it's good, and you can scroll down, it gives you your recovery hours. So it says that I have 0 recovery hours now, train as usual. Then you get your training load over the past 7 days, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really pay too much attention to these. And then you've got your race predictor, which predicts what your race times would be based on the runs that you've already done. So they're mine. Again, I may be slower than other people, so don't pay too much attention to that. And then we're back to the last screen. So then if we go down again, we've got the last sport. So that's just 3 miles. You can then go into those and you can view all your activities in the watch. So depending on what you've done, you've got cycles and runs in there, and then you can delve even deeper into those. You can get your details of the run, which shows your distance, time, pace, calories. It's got heart rate information in there as well, and your anaerobic, aerobic, cadence, all that good stuff, if you're interested in that. And then you've obviously got your lap breakdown, and you have a map, and training effects, timing zone, elevation plots, and you can obviously delete it if you want. So that is that one. Then you've got your step overview, and you've got your goal. It's an auto goal on this, so as you beat your goal every day, your auto goal increases. So that is that, pretty plain and simple. Then you have a compass, which is pretty nifty if you're out and about. You've got your altimeter, barometer, and as you turn the watch you can see that the compass is changing, so that's pretty cool. Again, it's not something that I really use that much, so I can't really comment on it too much. If that's something you're interested in, it might be worth you going and looking at other reviews on that sort of thing. Then you've got events, so it syncs to your calendar on your phone, so if you have any events coming up, which I don't, then they would come up here. Then you've got notifications, so any emails, text messages, all that kind of stuff comes up there. Again, I don't have any at the moment, so I can't show you, but you can basically go into the notifications, you could read text messages and emails, all that good stuff from there. Then you've got the weather, which has been pretty accurate. It says 90% rain. It is raining and snowing outside at the moment, so that's pretty good. And then it gives you your stress level, basically says 5 and rest for me at the moment. I don't pay too much attention to this either. I think it's a pretty new feature from the new watch, but I don't really look at it that much, so I can't really comment on that. And then we've got calories. This is customizable. I've added this on so I can see what calories I've burnt during the day. So it gives you your overall calorie burn, your resting burn and your active calorie burns, which is usually from when your heart rate spikes and you've been for a walk or a run or anything like that. So that is that. And then we're back to the beginning. I will just get my phone so I can show you the setup of the app and all that kind of stuff, so you can kind of see what widgets and features you've got on there. So here we have the Garmin Connect app. It is fully synced, so I should have synced all my data. So here you'll see steps, intensity minutes, calories, your stress levels, yesterday's activities and the last 7 days worth of stuff. So you can look at all your sleep data. If you already own a Garmin and you own one of the other watches, then you'll obviously know all of this kind of stuff, but there's quite a lot of data in here to see. So if I go back up here and go to what I was going to show you, so you can go to the Connect IQ store and basically you can select different watch faces that you want to put on. You can pick different custom wallpapers and different training data that you might want to see on a watch face, and basically different widgets and yeah, all that good stuff, which is, the watch itself is really customizable, so that's a really good thing. So back to the watch, so obviously you have your different activities in here. Sorry, it's not focusing. So if I wanted to run, I can set up different data screens that show you. GPS is obviously quite accurate. I've got GPS locked and I'm in the house, so that's pretty good. You've got the different screens, so you've got your timer and pace on here, and if you scroll down you can see lap time, lap pace. You can have your heart rate screens up there and the time, and these are all fully customizable. You can have literally whatever you want on there. If I click the settings button, you've then got a whole array of settings that you can choose from on here. So you've got run settings here, and you can customize your data screens and put on whatever you want. Then you've got alerts, so in here you can add new alerts. I don't have any because I don't really have the need for them at the moment, but you can have custom alerts, you can have heart rate alerts, so if you work to heart rate zones then you can add those in. You can have run walk, so it tells you when to run and walk. You can have pace and time, distance, cadence, calories, elevation, proximity. There's basically a whole array of things that you can do with the watch to customize it to how you train. Metronome, which I've absolutely no idea, so I'm not going to go into any detail on that. You can have auto lap, so you can choose when you want the lap to when you want it to lap. So if you want it every mile, every kilometre, every 3 miles, whatever you want. Then you've got auto pause, so you can have when stopped or you can have it turned off. I usually have it to auto pause when I stop, just because there's a lot of traffic, and yeah, that's just personal preference, but you can turn that off. You've got auto climb, 3D speed, none of these I've actually used. Lap key is on, so obviously if you want to lap early then you can, and it's this button here. Then you've got auto scroll, so if you want it to scroll through the different screens while you're running then you can do that, otherwise you just press the buttons up and down to change your screens. You've got segment alerts, so one of the good things is that if you have Strava Premium you can set up to have segment alerts, so it will tell you when you're on a segment. And then you've got GPS, which is normal GPS, or you've got GPS and GLONASS and Ultra Track. I don't use either of these two features, so I can't tell you much on them either. Then you've got power save, timeout, background colour, accent colours, so you can customise all your different data screens. So yeah, it's really good. So apart from running, I also use it for cycling, my brick sessions, triathlons, and all of that kind of stuff. I've used it for rowing when I've been on holiday, and it's got a whole array of different activities that you can do. You can pair bike sensors and power sensors for when you're on your road bike or whatever type of bike you have. So you can have all that kind of data in there. The run data, if you wear the heart rate monitor run, then you can get all your extra stats. So apart from cadence, you would also get all the extra technical stats. I'm not really too interested in those. I kind of just like to track my activities. So yeah, you've got the brick and your pool and open water swims. So I do a lot of open water swimming and pool swimming, so I use these quite a lot, and they seem to be fairly accurate. I've had no problems with them. They seem to measure no problems. The only thing is that you can't measure your heart rate while you're swimming because it doesn't work under the water. I haven't had any problems with pressing any of the buttons while I'm in the pool or anything like that. And triathlons has been working pretty well, swim, run. The one thing I would say is that with things like strength training, the heart rate doesn't seem to work as well when you're working muscle groups like in your arms. So any rowing, strength training, any sort of activity like that is not very good for, but for running it's been pretty good for heart rate, so that's just something to bear in mind. So as I primarily use this for things like running, you can also customise different workouts. So if I go back into the settings for the run, you have training on here, so you can put your own workouts onto the app and download it onto your watch, so you would find them in there. You've got interval settings, so you can do interval runs, you can set what distance you want to run for and what rest you want to do, so that's on there. You've got segments. I haven't got any segments actually saved. Lactate threshold tests, which you can do, which take 20 to 30 minutes. You can have set a target for distance and time, distance and pace. You've got race and activity, so you can pick a history run that you've done, a previous run that you've done, and you can race that. So it has like a virtual partner sort of thing, so you can see whether you're behind or in front of the pace from the previous run. You can do downloaded activities, and then you've got your training calendar, so you can see what your training calendar is. I don't have one on here, but yeah, there's a lot on here to choose from, and if you like to have all of that stuff on the watch for you to easy access and have customizable screens, customizable data, this is all you could ever want, really. So that is kind of it. Some other quite nifty features with regards to running are that because it obviously includes the maps, you have the ability to navigate routes, so you can plot a route on Strava or Garmin and you can upload it to the watch and it can give you navigation. I haven't tried it, but I obviously know it's there and I'm going to give it a whirl, so if that's something you're interested in hearing about, just let me know. You can also do a back to the start, so if you've run to a certain point you can have it go back to the start for you, so that you can have like navigational features. So there's a lot of like map sort of stuff on there, which is quite good. Battery life, I would say mine tends to last around 5 to 7 days depending on what sort of activities I'm doing. If I do an activity every day, I tend to need to charge it a bit quicker. One thing to bear in mind with the watch is that if you have sensors connected, like bike sensors, power sensors, and you're not using them all the time, then it can cause a real battery drainage. So I've had to turn my sensors off when I'm not using them, because otherwise your watch is just constantly searching for those sensors and it'll drain battery quite a lot. So that's one of the downsides I've seen. So yeah, that is that. The price of this is £600 on Garmin at the moment, which obviously puts it out of some people's price ranges. As I said, if you get the non-sapphire edition, then that is £100 cheaper, but that's still £500 for a watch. So it kind of all depends on what you're looking for in a watch and what you want it to do. This might be a bit technologically advanced for some people, and might be brilliant for others, so it just depends on what you're looking for. So that is it. That is it for the Fenix 5 review. I have a bit of a dry mouth now because I've talked for so long. If you have anything that you think I missed or anything you want to know about the watch itself, please leave them as a comment, and I may do an extra video answering more questions if there's a lot of them, or I'll just answer your questions separately in the comments if you need to know anything. So overall, it's been a brilliant watch for me. As I said, I've been using it for lots of different activities, including running, cycling, swimming, and a lot of like holiday activities like rowing. So it's been really good. I am still getting to grips with all the different activities. There's just so much to play with on the actual watch and so much to customise that I'm still kind of learning the ropes. But I will eventually get around to all of them. I don't see myself replacing them. The one big thing that I have noticed with the watch is obviously the size, which I explained in my previous video. So that's literally been the biggest upgrade for me, is the size of the watch, and I haven't had any accidents with knocking it or anything, so that's pretty good. I do have a screen protector on here, which you may have noticed in the video. You might have seen some like smudges from where the screen protector didn't go on properly. But yeah, I just wanted some extra protection on the screen, even though I know it's sapphire. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I know it was a long awaited video. I hope I've done it justice. I hope this has been helpful for anyone that is looking to buy the Fenix 5S. I'm going to go before this video just turns out to be probably about half an hour long. So if you liked this video, if it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And subscribe to the channel to see more videos. I'll be doing a lot more training videos and a lot more reviews. I have some coming up. I have a I Am Run Box review that is going to be coming up soon, along with my training diaries. And yeah, there's a lot more content to come from me, so I will see you again soon. Bye.